always talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. But she need down the ride, oh I bet that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is JH. How y'all doing, Postal family? Is everybody good? Are you cool, clean, crisp? Are you feeling irie today? I'm feeling a little bit irie. Certain situations are getting taken care of. A little stressed out at the work, but you know, Jay's usually 10 steps ahead. Ain't he ways? If you like my hat or you like my shirt, you can get your own if you go to the video description. Okay, hit Tina up. She will hook you up, and there's another gentleman down there that will hook you up. Support your postal family. Big Poppy. Now, this video kind of pertains to the MVS craft, motor vehicle services. So it's a two-part thing. I'm gonna speak about the first part, which can pertain to everybody, and then the other part specifically for the MVS craft, something that I just learned that was here, and I don't think very many of my transportation guys know this. So, you know, just stick around for that. Okay, now, a lot of people have asked about the training for postal workers to become CDL holders. Now, I am a CDL holder and I've had it for 26 years, but I've never gotten trained by the post office. I did it the old-fashioned way. A lot of people go to school now, and the school can range anywhere between $2,500 and probably $6,000 right at about now, just to get your CDL license, which can seem a little bit pricey. I know a few people that have gone on their own and paid for it while being postal workers, never got reimbursed, but they did that and they made a transition. Apparently, whatever happened this past week with the union, this is why I'm not totally against the union. I just think they're a bunch of, let's stick to the topic. Apparently, it states, now, this is for everybody. The government mandate for entry-level driver training has given the Postal Service the excuse to subcontract the driver training of employees, that just means CDL holders, seeking to upgrade or obtain a commercial driver's license. We are fighting this at the headquarters level. However, we need our driver safety instructors to get qualified and placed on the training provider registry. I am a driving safety instructor. That's my new title. It is a self-certification process that is free of charge with the FMCSA. So, please, if any of you know, there's not everybody watches me, if any of you know of driving safety instructors, if any of you know them, the actual DSIs, not the ad hocs, please let them know about this specific article. And it was in the union thing from a week ago. The government mandate for entry-level driver training has given the Postal Service the excuse to subcontract the driver training of employees seeking to upgrade or obtain a commercial driver's license. We are fighting this at the headquarters level. However, we need a driver safety instructors, that's us, to get qualified and placed on the training provider registry. It is a self-certification process that is free of charge. Okay, let them know that, please, because if you do, those are the ones that do the CCA trainings, they do your ProMaster training, the people there at the plant, those guys, if they get qualified to train somebody on how to get a CDL, you don't have to pay to go get your CDL anymore. This is what they're saying. I'm not on this FMCSA site. I will be after this video though. So that I can be the start of getting it together so that my brothers and sisters that choose to go get their CDL will have the option to do it. But it can't just be Jay. It has to be a multitude around the nation. So again, if you know of any, if you have an idea, if you know somebody at the plant that knows them, the same carriers that got trained, every one of you carriers that got trained, you had to go through a driver safety instructor. You had to. So get this information to them. Let them know. And here's the second article coinciding with them. In accordance with the provisions of Article 15, Section 2 and 4, the National Agreement of American Postal Workers Union is initiating Step 4 dispute concerning the use of outside contracted services for commercial driver license training instead of driver safety instructors, which is I. So I guess they've been using some outside sources instead of just using us, so they're paying another company to do it. The issue and the facts involved in this dispute as follows. The Postal Service training program with Sage Trucking Schools violates Article blah, blah, blah of the National Agreement. The Memorandum of Understanding regarding commercial driver's license training for automotive mechanics and technicians for Step 4 settlement in the case of blah, blah, blah. These violations give rise to interpretive issue under the National Agreement. Meaning, so the mechanics that fix our vehicles, I train them. I can train somebody that, doesn't have that, how to drive a truck. It doesn't go to this level, or at least I didn't know this. So I'm sharing information that I learned. And a partner that shared this with me, he's got some of his stuff in the video description as well. He makes those cups. His family makes those beautiful cups, those, you know what I'm talking about. The interpretative issue is to be decided whether the Postal Service has violated the National Agreement by subcontracting bargaining unit work. That's what we would do, bargaining unit work to Sage Driving Schools and others, and failing to provide driving safety instructors the training and materials required to certify employees to obtain the appropriate state CDLs since February 7th of 2022. The USPS will allow employees for these positions to utilize USPS equipment to take the CDL road test. Training will be provided by CDL certified driving safety instructors, DSI, or ad hoc DSI. That's it. The Memorandum of Understanding and Joint Contract Interpretation Manual requires. So this is it. The MOU says the training will be provided by a CDL certified driving safety instructor, me, or an ad hoc. Ad hoc stands for as needed. The USPS allows employees for the position to utilize the USPS equipment to take the CDL road test. That's amazing. Because again, I'm reading this stuff with you guys. Now, thank you, sir, for providing this information. So again, this seems like within a year, anybody that wants their CDL, I don't know why you would, but I mean, it provided a decent life for me, to have the option. Now, here's something else. That was the first part that is for everybody. Here's the second part for my CDL operators that work for the post office. I don't know how many of you are out there, because maybe not a lot of you watch this. Long story short, we have to have a DOT physical. That's when you have a CDL commercial driver's license, we have to have a DOT physical, Department of Transportation physical, in order to keep our CDLs. Well, when we go and we get a DOT physical, we're supposed to certify, we're supposed to bring this piece of paper that says we can either drive for 2 years before we get another physical, a year before we get a physical, 6 months, 3 months, whatever it is. Basically saying that, hey, the person's in decent enough health because they're operating a big vehicle and they won't, run off the road, pass out, whatever it is. Well, according to what I've read here, and this was passed back in 2020, around the time that C-19 was going on, and that's why it never came to the forefront, that commercial driver's licenses that utilize and work for the United States Postal Service as government employees do not need to have a DOT certification. I have the paper. I read it today. My old shop steward gave it to me. He went online and showed me how to self-certify. So every state is different. So you can self-certify that way, but there's certain boxes for us where we can say, I'm exempt because of XYZ. So whatever state you in, go on. If you can self-certify, I don't know if all states have that, so long as you work for the United States Postal Service. Now, if you quit and you don't work for us anymore, you have to go get your DOT physical again. It says the parties agreed to the USPS policy and instructions employees as follows. USPS drivers holding a CDL that are required to self-certify their state that they may operate or expect to operate in accepted interstate commerce in accordance with blah, blah, blah. Each state has its own procedure for completing the self-certification process. So USPS applicants, employees with interstate CDL should be directed to their local Department of Motor Vehicles or their state equivalent appropriate guidance. Additionally, these individuals are still bound by their state medical requirements regarding the intra-state CDL licensing. A USPS driver accepted from the DOT interstate requirement after self-certification as outlined above will still be allowed to cross state lines in the course of performing their driving duties with the United States Postal Service. So if you live in, let's say, New Jersey, and you have to cross over into New York, and you're not, you self-certified, but you don't have your medical card, you can cross state lines because you can cross state lines driving a commercial vehicle so long as it's the United States Postal Service's vehicle. It's a commercial vehicle that belongs to the government. The parties further agree that the Postal Service will instruct the medical contract unit performing the Department of Transportation medical examinations that all USPS drivers holding a CDL are excluded from the DOT interstate requirement. Excluded. And the only CDL requirements for the motor vehicle service positions are intrastate CDL, provided that the driver has self-certified to their state. The parties agree that any future changes in the policy will directly relate to wages, hours, working on conditions, etc., etc. This was done, and this was by Michael O. Foster, Director of Motor Vehicle Services, on 5/15/2020. This was class action. And this was up in Washington, D.C. I guarantee you that your managers, if you work in the motor vehicle department, does not, probably have no idea. But this is in that book. So if you have a union shop steward that went to this thing the last 2 weeks ago, this is it. Ask them to pull it out because it was interpreted. I mean, probably not going to. This is the paper. I don't know if it's going to show, but that's the paper. And you probably can't read it. Nonetheless, this is decent news. I mean, I think you should probably get DOT certified because you don't want nobody with sleep apnea, you fall asleep while you're just driving or have a heart attack. My opinion. It's a good and bad thing because also it makes the people that have been driving, they're 67, 68 years old and they want to keep driving, but they can't get their DOT card because they won't be issued one. Now they can continue driving because they're only driving for the government. It's like, damn, you still in the way? You too old to be driving trucks. But that helps them out. I'm taking shots at my own truck drivers, but that's what this means. And only truck drivers could kind of understand my lingo right now. So yeah, if you have any questions about this, I will, I don't know if I can answer everybody's question in email, but just ask your union shop steward. My guy, I was talking to him and this is what he gave me. Good news, could be. CDL for everybody? Could be, but we have to make those steps. Make it happen. This is JH with some decent news, I think. Could be wrong, but could be right. Remember, Tina hook you up with some hats, baby. Hook you up with the ridiculous shirts, baby. You like that one? Annoy at your own damn risk. This is JH, and I'm out.
Unexpected expenses stressing you out? Get the money you need now with Loans for Feds, a program designed specifically for federal employees. Bad credit is not a problem. Application is fast and easy with same-day approvals. Apply now.